Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. Episode 6, and I have actually been making money in the last year. 0.7k or 0.7m, so that's $750,000. It's not going up incredibly fast, but it is working out. And it's not too bad actually. It's not too bad. I have, in case you missed the last episode, set up a shipping line here. The deal is that the coal from this coal mine is going to get shipped towards this steel mill. Steel mill also requires iron. That's what my other ship is for. It's about to pick up a large haul of iron. Now, these ships are not fast by any stretch of the imagination, but they just need 1 or 2 big hauls a year, or correction, per several years, because they're that slow, in order to get a good profit. Then the steel that is over there, I'm going to actually adjust that, is picked up by one of these ships. I had initially intended it for the other ship to pick it up. I'm going to task that to this one, because this ship doesn't need to go that far. This ship does, and since my iron input is very important to me, I want to make sure that it can actually get that stuff, pick it up and get going. So I'm going to take it off of the iron ore line and hand it over to the coal line. Oh crap. With that, all of the steel that was here has now been deleted. Fantastic. I hope that they're going to deliver that fast. Otherwise this ship is going to be moving around on empty. Now what I'm going to be producing here is tools initially. Later on there will be machines, but for now it's going to be tools. Tools are going to have to be delivered to the commercial area inside Worcester. And I have a fuel truck or a cargo station right there. So all I need to do now is set up one more cargo terminal or truck station here, pick up the finished products and drop those off to Worcester. So we're going to set up a new line, take it from Worcester Branch, what is that? Yeah, Worcester Branch to Worcester Halt. And with the amount of stuff that that's going to be transporting, we're going to need a decent truck. Speed 60 kph, can transport steel, machines and tools. Good, 2 vehicles should do the trick. Line 1. How much are you carrying? Just 5 units of steel. It's going to take a while for that to pick up production. So that's a road vehicle. We're going to call that my Worcester Tools line. Now I think there's way too much iron ore being produced here. Look at that. I may need to invest in another ship. I just hope that this thing is going to boost production ASAP, because I'm going to be delivering a ton of iron ore and coal there. There we go. It dropped off some stuff. Good. And there's tools being made. This production line is working. Now we still have errors, because Worcester somehow thinks that it cannot reach these facilities here, which is not the case, because it can. There is a bridge here, there's a line, there's a road, and for some reason it just refuses to acknowledge that that is in fact so. So for some reason, despite the fact that there are indeed cars moving around this bridge, it still does not understand that it can perfectly reach the chemical plant and whatever other facilities there are. Now my debt is going up. I have a loan of 27 million, which is significant. 81 points of iron ore waiting. 29 points of steel. You are going towards Gresham East, so you're going to pick up a new large haul of coal. Very good. And I want to know what this ship is going to make. It's probably going to be a good amount of money. Last one, which was I believe 69 or 65 elements of steel, correction, iron. It got a nice haul. How much are you getting this time around? Boom. 500,000. That is what you get these things for. They're not fast, but they get the job done. And they are, in fact, these radar boats. They got a radar on the rear, which is keeping them going. Okay. I think that there's way too much waiting here. 95? Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. Money. Still negative. I have spent some bits on new vehicles, but that's just one truck, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I still need to replace this train. It is currently 34 years old. Basically out of the 30 years that its lifetime was intended to be. That's specifically the engine. Because I'm still running around with a Mikado. Actually, it has no age. I think the game just bought a new one. Yep, it just replaced it. There we go, all done. So we're gonna see that, yep, new vehicles, minus 2.73 million. Good, so it replaced the entire line. And therefore I no longer have to worry about that anymore. Worcester, how you doing on fuel? 85 out of 113. Let's add one more truck. How's my crude line doing? I constantly have to keep an eye on this. Making 100k a year. That's perfectly workable. The coal ship is completely filled to the brim with coal. And the other one... oh dearie, this is going to take forever. Yeah, I'm going to need to invest in a new ship there. How much steel? 57. You know, maybe... yeah. I want to get the steel delivered not by ship, but by car. I think that's going to be way faster. Because right now the steel is piling up, and without consistent deliveries of steel, this machine factory isn't doing anything. And that's a problem. Because then this line is also not making any kind of money because it's not transporting anything. Meaning, Worcester isn't getting any logs, tools, my bad. So far it's gotten one tool. It's not getting any tools, and therefore the entire line is costing me money. The ships overall will make a profit. Every once in a blue moon. It's gonna take a while, but okay. Coal line. Finally in the green again. Once this thing arrives, we should be seeing another 300 to 400k coming in. And my loan is 405,000. Bring in the money. We're gonna need it. There we go. All the steel is loaded onto the ship. This thing can merrily produce once again. There we go, it's going up. It's quickly churning through the amount of iron ore that it has stored. Road Vehicle 13 has outlived its usefulness. Okay, that's the Laredo bus. Is that thing even making money? Yeah, a little bit. Alright, replacement, set vehicle, passengers, this one. Yes. And I want you to return to base because you are a bit outdated. New vehicle. A New Haven EPS and a gondola. Okay. There is my iron ore, and my coal has been completed, so it's now delivering here. Keeps churning out steel. Is it storing the steel internally? Yeah. It's not delivering as much here because not as much is needed yet. Come on. Hold. 110k. For the amount of time it's taking to get there, 110k is not enough. So we're going to adjust that line. We're going to make sure that this thing has a truck stop. And then from the truck stop, is that under the influence sphere? Yes. If I turn it around, no. How about here? Yes, that's good. Ooh, but also reasonably expensive. Okay, like that. I want to take it off of the coal ship, because I find the ships to be just more important. They have their role. So that one's deleted. All the steel that was stored there is gone. And yes, I am just basically experimenting with this, so excuse me for that. This is the Worcester steel line. We're going to need quite a few vehicles to get that thing going. Freight. This one... no, that one. There we go. At least 2 of them. Because they take way less time than the ships take. Now, let's pay off a bit of my debt. I don't want it to ramp up too far. Oh, we made 80k last year. Isn't that cute? How much coal? Plenty. How much iron ore? Plenty. Could these ships actually be made very profitable? This line's bringing in about 260k per year. The ship itself cost me, what, about $1 million? No, not even. Cost me way less. So I could just buy another ship. Keep the iron ore ramping up. There we go. There is steel waiting. There's no iron ore. And the amount of coal is no longer being used up since they don't have any further use for it. Makes sense. Look at that, making money. That could very well be the crude fuel line. What's Worcester doing on fuel? 82%. I think that's the highest I've ever gotten that town. That should mean that the industry is developing itself. 58% only? What do you want? Are there any industrial buildings that are not being covered? That's residential. I believe all the industrial buildings are being covered. So that's unusual. This thing just had a big payday. $500,000. Yeah, I'm gonna buy 2 more ships. Or 1 more ship. 1 more iron ore ship. Freight. I can buy the Axalp, which can transport 150. Running costs are higher. The ship is a bit faster by 7 kilometers per hour. Give me one of those. You're going to go for the iron ore. This means that the demand for iron ore has just gone up. 1 ship can no longer transport it alone, so I'm going to have 2 moving in on that. And this one has so much coal lying about that I might in fact go for another coal one. Okay, what are you transporting? Tools! Yes, we have tools being produced now. You're transporting steel. How are my road lines? There we go. Steel is picking up. It's a new line, so it's still trying to get up to its production capability. The tools line is bringing in the tools towards Worcester. And Worcester is currently having 23% of its demand met. Excellent. We're getting somewhere. Let's repay 1 more tick of our debt. Tools are being produced quite nicely, pretty fast. Cha-ching, there we go. Now you could argue that it might be useful in having a truck stop over here. because my steel delivery vehicles are going to be passing here anyway, and it would shorten the route for the other trucks. See where I'm going with this? Here's the plan. Those steel delivery trucks are passing there anyways. So we're going to have the steel delivery trucks also picking up the finished tools and dropping them off there. And the tools are, let's delete both stations, going to be picked up here at which to transfer, and then being dropped off there, because tools are required for commercial buildings. Okay, so we're going to also have to add the other one. Add station there. Yeah, that covers virtually all of them, except these, which are going to be more difficult to reach. Okay, that should do. That means that there are no further tools being delivered or picked up from there at the moment, until the game realizes that I want to deliver it from there to here, and then from here to further. Because now these steel trucks are empty for less amount of time. Okay, you just joined the iron ore line. 165? Give it to these ships. I mean, they're going to be making money. Eventually. If you're patient. There you go. Made 900k last year. Let's see if this works. This guy is picking up the tools. This is the steel line. That's another steel delivery. Moving towards the factory. We still have plenty of steel here. It's not producing anything outside of coal. It's dropping off the tools. Moving back towards its steel pickup point. And then we should have new trucks coming in to pick up the tools and delivering those to Worcester. Excellent. Working as intended. Coal's been dropped off, making a profit. Means that steel's going to pick up production. Iron ore should be coming in. There's 100 points of iron ore coming in already, and the other one is perfectly on the halfway point. There's the tools being picked up. There's potentially way more capacity here than or demand here than I have capacity for. So I may have to buy another few vehicles. Steel is being produced. How much do you have left? Yeah, you're almost out of iron ore. It's something that you really need to keep an eye on with these production lines. And I hope that the second ship is going to fix that. How are you doing today? 149k last year, 120k this year. 53k, there's your operating costs. He's carrying 68 out of a potentially 84 units of fuel. Dropping it off. He's only dropping off 57. What happened to the rest? Is it instantly being used or something? Because there's no industry here. We may not have enough demand. 91%. That's okay. I'm gonna add one more truck to my steel/fuel line. Or steel/tools line. That is that one. That error is just annoying. It's not something I'm actually worried about. How's that line doing? Seems to be doing well. That's my railroad. Road. Tools. Not doing that well. Steel, quite well. 143k. And at least this thing has a consistent amount of steel that is being brought in, so that it can also continuously produce tools. That is, if demand is high enough. And I could easily just add Gresham as a stop, further boosting production. So we're going to have to find a good spot for that, preferably not deleting any buildings. Oh, no, we're going to delete one building. This should cover virtually the entire commercial area. Okay. So I want to have just one road vehicle doing that. New line. Go from there to there. And that is called Gresham. So this is Gresham Tools. That means that there's still going to be some tools left here in order to supply Gresham. And we're actually making money! Consistently, despite my consistent buying of vehicles. So that's good. Now we have another empty iron ore ship, so he just dropped off all of his cargo, making another 500k. The other ship is already on its way back with another lug of, or another haul of hundreds. There's 50 there. By the time the ship comes back, it should be plenty. This is my coal liner. There we go. Try to ship more steel. I'm shipping as much steel as I possibly can. Yep. Gresham Tools. Excellent. Nice amount of coal delivery there. Now it has 126 coal of a potential storage of 74. So I think that if I continue to demand, it's going to increase production. Production is already at 92 out of 100, so we should be seeing an upgrade soon. That's good. That's where I want to go with this steel mill. I want to keep it so incredibly under demand that it is going to upgrade production, and then I can potentially use all that steel to get some other stuff as well. Because if you can get steel and planks over here, I can make goods. And goods are also demanded by Worcester. They're another commercial product. And let's see, do we still have coverage of all the industrial areas? I believe so. Yeah, they seem to still be covered by that single truck stop in Upper Worcester. 1.17 million, making the monies. Still got a significant loan, pressing into about 400k. It's not too good, but it's workable. I'm not concerned. There's another full haul of coal waiting there. Yep, upgrade scheduled in 3 months. Perfect. Ship has just dropped off all of its iron there. No upgrade scheduled, what the hell? Is there not enough demand or something? Maybe. Okay, so you want demand? We're gonna get you demand. I want to get another car for my steel line. I'm gonna get another car for my tools line. What do we have? The GM Fishbowl. What an inspired name. What's this then? You're not making a profit anymore? That's not what we'd agreed upon. How about extending this rail line and taking fuel not only for Worcester but also for Gresham? I think that's doable. And thereby I can make my line a bit more profitable again. No, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Silly game. Sometimes the game feels like that contractor that's doing work to your house and that's always trying to upgrade you and sham you out of more money. Not happening. The industry is to this area. So if I can have a train station on this end, that would instantly cover it. Virtually, there we go, that's better. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Now we're gonna need a bridge. And here's the problem, it's gonna be a high bridge. Otherwise, the ships can no longer pass underneath. Do not try to sham me into buying a tunnel, because I don't need one. Really? You are one arrogant game, you know that? Look at that! Yeah, would you like a bridge with that? No, I wouldn't. Oh, okay. This inclination is something that I hadn't really accounted for. Okay, go up. That's a bit too much. How are navigable waters influenced? They're not. Good. Yeah, so now you can go back down. Good. So now we need to get from there to there. Get me money. If I do it in one hole, I'm gonna need about 1 million. No, you're going way too deep. Just stick to the ground level, that'd be wonderful, thank you. No! Just have to stick more or less along the road. Hopefully not making it too expensive. No! Not like that. Ridiculous. Sure, throw in a tunnel, see if I care. Not gonna happen, sunshine. There we go. It's not the perfect line, but it gets the job done. Alright, so now I'm gonna have to make sure that there's a path signal there and one here. This will ensure that the train station is not being trying to be entered from two sides. That won't work. Generally. I'm gonna have to add another... there we go, depot. And yes, once again, I'm gonna do the good old borrowing game. Give me a locomotive, something cheap, preferably. 182k running costs. And what's your demand per year? 67. You don't need much, do you? Okay, we're gonna give you one car. Good. Set line. New line. From here to here. Have a good one. It's gonna be a baby train. Look at that. Running costs 3.83 or 383,000 a year. That's pretty expensive. It's like it's not producing enough. That's unusual. It does have enough coal. Or is about to get. Are you stuck up on iron ore? Oh, yes you are. You got way too much iron ore standing by. Get rid of some of that debt. And, yep, we got 3 fuel. 3 fuel, ladies and gentlemen, is being picked up. Perfect. Holy moly, we got 155 units of crude. It's because Worcester doesn't need much. This is actually good news. Really, really good news. Here's why. I'm transporting so much crude oil here that the refinery does not know what to do with it. So what's happening is that it's mostly producing fuel from it, and thereby basically wasting half of its production capability. So, if I can make sure that it's transporting not just the fuel, but also creating oil, then I'm going to have this train getting at better capacity, therefore making more money. With the oil, I can then take that stuff to a chemical plant, like that, where one oil is translated into one plastic. The plastic is then getting hauled towards this area, where we're going to be building machines. Machines are hauled towards here, and the machines are hauled directly into Worcester. The problem is that it's expensive. I need to build either another train line or a truck line in order to get that thing going. Oh, I still have a couple of vehicles standing by. Where's that? Let's sell these. There, don't need you. And it would also be handy if I'd had a bridge from there to there. Otherwise we're gonna have to take this bridge twice, which is too far. It's too long a route. I'm considering just hauling the plastic from there to, say, here. Hang on. Okay, here's my thinking. I have this tools line. The tools line is taking stuff in one way. So it's profitable if I'm going in that direction. If I'm going in that direction, it's not so profitable. So what I could do is tell a truck to take it from there to there, take the plastic back here, have my tools line come in, take the plastic, haul it back to, say, there, which is not ideal. But it would make them more profitable. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to have to restructure a couple of lines. I'm going to have to restructure my tools line. Actually, this whole thing is going to disappear. So that's Worcester Transfer that no longer exists. The steel line has to keep going. That's important. Otherwise, this whole production line is going to crash. The other line, Worcester Tools, that was that Worcester Transfer that I just took off? I think so. I think so. Because now, yeah, now it's basically going back and forth between two truck stops. Yep. Okay, good. Now, what we're gonna do is set up another truck stop here at the chemical plant. We're gonna tell that one to pick up oil in Lower Worcester and deliver it there. So this is gonna be my Worcester plastic line. Worcester plastic, I usually call them line. We're gonna need a couple of vehicles to transport that for me. You can transport shit. These things can only transport oil or crude oil. I was hoping they could also transport the plastic, but that's not a good option. Okay, we're going to assign 2 of those vehicles to the plastic line. It's going to take a while before that thing spins up. Right, so that doesn't work. If I take my tools line, it's not going this way. If I delete, or if I add this one, it's going to make it a bit of a longer hole. Profitable in one direction. If I add the plastic somehow, that could help. But I could just take the plastic and build a bridge there. Choices. Okay, for now we need that tools line to keep operational. So add that station, Worcester branch. Yes, it's taking stuff from Worcester branch and going towards Worcester Holt or Upper Worcester. Good. Then we're going to need to get that plastic shipped from there to there. If I would want to build a bridge, would that be expensive? Moderately. I don't need my ships to go any further south anyway. So that's good. This is a 30 kph road, 70. I want this thing to last. Let's go with 100. Ooh! Pricey. Fuck it, why not? There to there. Then there, all the way... Woo. Expensive. Here. I hope I'm not going to be drowning in debt anytime soon. Next up, plastic line goes there. So that is, let's say, the... It's not the plastic line per se. I'm going to call it plastic 2. I'm going to assign 2 vehicles to that. If I can still afford 2 vehicles, that'd be wonderful. Borrow. Freight. Plastics. 2. Set all. Plastic 2. Here we go. See if this works. We got an empty iron ore hauler coming in. This one's not entirely full. Yes, it's because we have way too much iron ore here. And we're not shipping enough steel. Once this thing starts picking up production, it's going to take steel for machinery and steel for tools. It's going to really kick it into gear. Try to deliver more steel. Sure. Would if I could. Freights. Give me another steel truck. Worcester steel. But you probably have a bit of steel. Yeah, you have steel stored. So you're not producing enough. You don't have enough demand. That means that we probably have too many tools sitting by doing nothing. Alright, these things are going to be moving on empty. That's alright. And there we go, we already have oil standing by. This thing is kicking production, putting it up to almost 200, because it's suddenly being tasked with both oil and fuel. And now we're getting somewhere. He's going to pick up the oil, transfer it all the way to the chemical lab. Yes. How are you doing? You're making money? You are. But only a little bit. If that. If that. Gresham, fuel report. 46% already. Oh wow. Coal's doing well. Alright, let's just not buy anything for a while. Although I'm not really good at that. Where's my railroads? Line 1. Oh yeah, you're the Gresham fuel line. Gresham fuel. As for the rest, my crude oil line simply doesn't have that much that it needs to transport, or didn't need to in the past. But now this thing is churning and burning crude oil like you've never seen before. Look at that thing go down. So now my crude fuel oil line should be picking up in money. Cha-ching, 500k. Vacuuming up all the fuel that's there, insofar as there's demand. So that's good. It's also going to leave a bit for Gresham. We could very well be seeing another upgrade for this one. This should also be producing because there's far more demand. Are we almost at 100%? Still at 82 for fuel requirements. It's lower than I had expected. A lot less than I had hoped, actually. Are we not covering all of the industrial buildings? Because the town is growing. But I don't see any other industrial buildings that I'm covering. Weirdly enough. Because these are all residential places. New commercial building in construction. New industrial building being constructed. Yeah, it's definitely going up. So is my money, by the way. Finally making money again. Holy moly. Worcester Sea Springs. suddenly exploded in transport demand. This thing is already making 500,000 a year. And then some. Yeah, so we're gonna send you back. And I'm gonna attach one more car. At least one more car to that train. Ah, crap, that's probably not aligned well. Okay. Adjusts. There we go. Now it can easily exit both ways. Buy me more train cars. Passenger cars. They're only very expensive. Yep, we're gonna hit that old borrow button again. Capacity 67. I can run with that. Worcester Sea Springs, have a good one. $1.23 million. Let's repay some. I did say a minute ago that I wasn't going to spend anything else, right? Yeah, pretend you didn't hear that. Alright? Pretend you didn't hear that. Alright. Railroads. Crude fuel. Once again, kicking my money into the positives. This used to be a drain of almost 400k a year, and now it's going up 400k a year. So that's how you can instantly turn those railroads around. This one has been upgraded. This one has also been upgraded. Limit is now 400. And this is going to be a problem. It has no crude oil left. So its production is going to sink like a brick. Anyway, we are also building machinery here. We now have machines. They're automatically being picked up by Worcester Tools. So Worcester Tools can pick up whichever it has in store, basically. That's steel, road, Worcester Tools. There. There we go. He's loading machines. Where's the third one? Bringing tools. That line's profitable. Worcester Steel's profitable. Barely. These things should kick up. Production. How's my plastic? That's okay. It could be better. And the game is giving me as a tip, try to deliver more plastic if you want to make more money, or if you want to increase production. We do have plastics coming in. How's the plastic line doing? That's plastic 2, 102k a year, and the plastic 1 is doing 147. Yes, show me the money. 43% of tools completed. This should be the first machinery delivery. No, that's tools. Where's my machinery? Is that you? No, that's fuel. Oh, so many trucks. Confusing much? Steel. Yep, there we go. 2%. We're getting machines. 16%. Excellent. Now, my new train should also be doing quite well. Transporting as much in the sense of passengers as possible. Yep, vacuum all the ones. Yep, 67, he's full. Perfect. Now this is what I want to see. There's one line, that's the Worcester bus. That's not actually making a lot of profit. I don't mind. I consider the bus basically a way to vacuum up demand for my transport, or for my passengers. So that over here I have those passengers being dropped off. That's what I want to see. 218. I still want to see those millions and millions and millions of profits. Preferably. I think we may need to get another truck assigned here. There's just not enough. Worcester Tools is being overwhelmed. Freight. This one can transport tools and machinery. Good. Give me 2 more. Set them to Worcester tools. Which by now is no longer really the right term for that line. I'd say it's Worcester supplies. I think that's more accurate. Yep, it has been upgraded. Its production capacity used to be 50 and now it's 100. So that's good. Plastic is still being a bit of a problem. I may need to increase plastic production line. That's the oil one. How much plastic do we have waiting? 15. It's barely getting enough. It's mostly because it's not getting enough oil. That's the problem right there. Alright, well, all of these problems and probably more I'll be tackling in the next episode. For now, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are. Anything is welcome in the comments. And I'll see you soon for another episode of Transport Fever.